Hello and welcome to What Culture Horror with myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I hope your week is going as well as it possibly can. Right, today we are back with another review. While you're here, go and check out elsewhere on the channel when you're done with this. Our recent reviews, we've reviewed Frankie Frico, Megan 2.0. The next week or so as well, I'm sure we will have a review up of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie. But Today, the attention is on the rather bonkers Hot Spring Shark Attack, which is available digitally and in selected theatres from July 11th. And man, it is certainly something. Is that something actually good though? Let us find out. Now, firstly, as a disclaimer, I am a sucker for any and all shark movies. Yes, you've got your George, you've got The Reef, you've got The Shallows, you've got Deep Blue Seas, you've got your Meg movies, the open water movies, your 47 meters down movies. Your Bait, which I had a lot of fun with Bait, but I'm one of those who will just as happily sit down and watch, sand sharks or snow sharks or super shark or ghost shark or those multi-headed Jersey Shore mega versus mecha sort of stuff and Sharknadoes, all of that stuff. So when I received a press release about a Japanese horror comedy shark movie where a shark attacks through hot springs, yep, you can absolutely sign me up to give that one a watch. So here we are with Hot Spring Shark Attack. And yes, for those who maybe didn't pick up on it, let's just say this is a film that does not take itself too seriously. So let's get a little more into the plot, I guess. So with Hot Spring Shark Attack being the featured debut of writer-director Morihito Inoue, here we have the small seaside town of Atsumi in the midst of their own shark season of sorts, I guess. You see, the town's famous hot springs, they have been the location of several shark attacks and shark sightings. But when our experts delve into this, the dead, they don't seem to be victims of any modern day sharks, but instead of something ancient. An ancient shark that's bringing terror to this little town. So in a film that clearly has a few playful nods to Jaws, I mean, we've got our slightly dodgy Atsumi man, his questionable methods. We've got the cranky been there, done it chief of police who literally shoots a message in the sand at one point of like, get out the water. We've got the smart young scientist who's helping to look at the kind of the modern ideas to deal with this ancient threat. Not to mention, there's even one line directly ripped from Steven Spielberg's classic. So yeah, there's an influence here, clearly. I mean, I'd like to think that if you're deciding to give a whirl to a movie called Hot Spring Shark Attack, and with that sort of loose premise and plot, I'd like to think you're open to what you're about to let yourself in for. If you're expecting elevated, chin-stroking horror, dripping with tension, and, I don't know, Oscar-winning performances, well, my friend, this is not the movie for you. And that will become apparent after just like a couple of minutes. This is erratic, energetic, totally bonkers, low budget, and doesn't really make any sense while making all the sense in the world that this is taking place in. I mean, on that point, for example, how could a shark possibly fit through a water pipe? Why? That's explained away due to sharks not having any bones and being made of flexible cartilage, meaning they can bend and fit to get through those pipes. That is just one of the more out there, but not out there, but totally out there moments in Hot Spring Shark Attack. You see, there's so much nuts stuff going on, yet the film kind of has an explanation for it all. Or at least it tries to explain it, which is a lot of fun. Daft, silly fun, but fun nonetheless. And again, if you're watching a movie like this, you're not exactly looking for everything to be explained in minute, perfectly logical, very real world detail, are you? I mean, if you are, again, this is not the sort of film for you, and why are you watching this in the first place? And so much of the film's plot, it is driven by those scientific breakthroughs, or through a whole bunch of breaking news reports that give some backstory or flesh out certain elements of the movie. Then there's a heavy social media presence here, with the mayor of Atsumi bringing in a bunch of influencers to talk nice about his town and its new swanky resort, all in an act to gloss over the negativity of those shark attacks, to gloss over the problems. Like, no, look, come on, influencers, come in and talk nice about us. So we'll kind of just forget about all that stuff. But yeah, you can obviously, you can only imagine how that ultimately works out. If you're guessing about Carnage, you will completely right in guessing about Carnage. As for Hot Spring Shark Attack, how it looks, we're in a time where you have the stunning, lavish, more is more CGI of something like the mega budget Meg movies. And you've got those more reserved, lower budget, less is more shark movies that keep their sharks largely out of view because they know that they look horrendous. For Hot Spring Shark Attack, it kind of covers both of those bases, as in its sharks, they do look awful. The film's lack of budget does shine through. Yet the film absolutely is not shy about showing off its awful sharks and its ropey effects work in all its so bad, is it actually good? I don't really know. Glory. It's like, this is what we've got. These are really bad, but look at it all anyway. We don't care. We're putting it all out there on Front Street. Hot Spring Shark Attack embraces the cheese, the kitsch, and the insanity of its premise and of its production values. I mean, as for the effects, some of the movie actually uses miniatures. There's also at times puppets that are clearly like hand puppets for the sharks. And what feels like a solid, I don't know, 60%, maybe 80% or more of the film plays out with a green screen background. Yes, really. And making this all the more, I don't know, what's what I'm looking for? Unique, impactful, enjoyable, is that the performances are delivered for the most part just like fairly po-faced, straight-faced. The film, it takes its, as in the performances are done very seriously, but the film does also have certain moments of dry humor to it as well, I guess. And not just dry humor, but there are moments where it's all a little bit over the top, and there's just a constant energy through Hot Spring Shark Attack. This is a movie that starts at like breakneck speed and it rarely takes a breath across its swift runtime. I believe it's maybe an hour and 17 minutes, if I remember rightly. It's just a very punchy film that for the first few minutes, you see what this film is about and you'll know whether it's for you. I mean, by the time all is said and done, we've got hot springs bubbling up all across the city. Even in the skies, our central characters, they're doing their best to put a stop to all of this, complete with one of them, a fella who I believe is just called Macho. He's just a big old muscly bloke who's constantly flexing, and as he does that all the time, his muscles make like a squeaking noise. It's, again, a little bit bonkers, and no spoilers particularly, but the sharks plural, they kind of speak as well, so that is the thing. Again, this is bonkers and cheesy. That is the nature of Hot Spring Shark Attack. And the vessel used in the finale, I mean, again, that's a practical set here. And that makes the early days of, say, Red Dwarf look like a $20 million production. All of this, I mean, you kind of take a step back. It's like, how can you rate a movie like Hot Spring Shark Attack? This is something that plays out in all kinds of daft ways. Like something like, I don't know if you may have seen Dead Sushi from, I think that was 2012 released. It's a bit, if you go in there and accept that this is just going to be a bit nuts and bonkers, yeah, you might have some fun. There's also a hint of Ghost Shark. I mentioned that earlier. Just with, I mean, in Ghost Shark, there's a shark killed that out in the open that floats into a mystical cave, then kind of is able to transport to anywhere where there's water for vengeance, like toilets and water coolers and stuff. I mean, there's an element of that here, just with a resurrected ancient shark as such. I mean, Ghost Shark, man, that was certainly a trip, as was the sequel. There's also kind of a trauma sheen to all of this, as in it's made on a shoestring budget. It's knowingly bad in certain elements, but it embraces those things that are going against it, like the ropey effects, for example. Hot Spring Shark Attack, it makes no sense whatsoever, but this is not a movie you should be trying to make sense of. No, this is a film there's no real sitting on the fence about. If this is for you, it is for you. If it's not for you, you will hate it and probably turn it off after the first 5, maybe 10 minutes. For me, the sheer fact it was a shark movie, that got my attention in the first place. Then the premise, that kind of raised an eyebrow, if you smell what I'm cooking. And I mean, yeah, switching my brain off at the door and being open to embracing the insanity of Hot Spring Shark Attack. I had a lot of fun here, man. It's a sort of film that, if nothing else, it puts a smile on your face by the time all's said and done, leaving you questioning, like, what did I just watch? But in a not in a like confusing way, but just in a daft, silly, and I guess most of all, entertaining way. For some people, this would be, you know, when it comes to ratings, some people would say this is like a 2 out of 10 movie, a 1 out of 5 movie. An E rated if you're going to go with the alphabet. For me, as someone who always appreciates the efforts and the restrictions that come with low-budget filmmaking, someone who can get on board with an absolutely ludicrous plot, let's be honest, with miniatures, puppets, and that huge amount of green screen, for me, I'm going to go a solid like 6 out of 10 for Hot Spring Shark Attack, a 3 out of 5, if you will, for my personal taste, that is. Is it necessarily a good movie, per se? No, but it's fully aware of that, and it just embraces what it has at its disposal. Is it a stupid, ridiculous fun movie? For me, 100%, sir. Yes. Again, Hot Spring Shark Attack, it is available on digital and in select theatres from the 11th of July, which may actually be here by the time you're watching this review. If you are planning to check out Hot Spring Shark Attack, let us know in the comments. If you've already seen Hot Spring Shark Attack, let us know in the comments what you made of it. And while you're here, why not just let us know your favourite shark movies, or those more I guess, hidden gem shark movies that more people you feel should check out. I'm always here to talk about shark films. As I said, I'm a sucker for those things. For me, I'd offer up From the Depths as an interesting recommendation, an interesting look at the PTSD suffered by a shark attack survivor. There are some ropey elements, but just some of the scares, and as somebody who is terrified of the water, oof, gives me the willies and a half. Cage Dive is another one I would recommend. A properly unnerving found footage shark movie that you are right there in the ocean, man. It is terrifying. It is nightmare fuel for someone like me. I believe Cage Dive actually was later rebranded as an open water movie after it was released. So that's Open Water 3 Cage Dive. But there are a couple of recommendations there for me. You throw some recommendations yourself in there as well. And with that, this has been What Culture Horror. I've been Andrew Pollard. I don't know why I nearly started singing the name of the series there. Be well, stay safe, and I will catch you down the road.